Good morning, and thank you all so much for taking the time to learn about Babylon microfarms. Today, Chef Lara will share a bit about her experiences in partnering with Babylon. In the meantime, please enjoy this video featuring Bob Raymond, VP of Dining Services and Procurement for Commonwealth Senior Living.
Babylon Farms for Sustainability align with 100% of what we're doing. We're trying to reduce our footprint. We love engaging our residents no matter what they're doing. From our programming side in engaging residents, they actually do the seed selection. They help us plant, transfer, and then harvest, which really gets them excited. The looks on their faces is phenomenal. For all of our residents, wellness is number one. So for us, making sure that we are serving the freshest greens and they're consuming it. It's not sitting on a truck for 2 weeks. By the time that we get it, it's actually done right in front of them. Food safety, especially in senior living, was one of the things that I had looked at on another main reason. There were so many recalls on so many different products throughout the year. That was one of the things that we control everything from seed to harvest. Commonwealth Senior Living won Best of the Best for Argentum, and we went against some heavy competition, but to win that award, being best of the best in the country, was phenomenal.
All right. Well, thank you all again so much for taking the time to meet with us this morning. So I'm delighted to introduce Chef Lara. So I'll let you kind of share a little bit about your background.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lara Irwin. I am the dining service specialist here at Commonwealth Senior Living. We are based out of Charlottesville, Virginia, but we have communities, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Connecticut, Maryland, Tennessee. So we're a little bit of everywhere. And we have had the pleasure of partnering with Babylon Gardens about 4 years ago, I think. And it's been a wonderful partnership. We've loved to watch the company grow. We love our garden. As you can see, it is a big excitement for our residents and our communities. It's a great focal point in our dining room. And we look forward to continuing our partnership with Babylon.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Well, Chef Lara, I'm going to dive into some questions. So I know a lot of our community partners have had questions that we'd love to kind of dive into. So what have been the most profound impacts that you've seen in your communities in using Babylon microfarms?
I think for me, it's the excitement and engagement with our residents. Here at this particular building, this is our Charlottesville community. We have independent assisted living and memory care. And we've gotten all of our neighborhoods engaged in our garden. From memory care, we bring them out to our dining room here and they help us harvest and even pick herbs. Just watching them handle the produce, it puts a smile on their face, which puts a smile on our face. Not just that, it's fresh produce. You can't get much fresher. It's also great to see when family members come to visit their loved ones here in the community. It's a conversation piece. Our assisted living is located on the second floor, and a lot of times they'll bring their loved one downstairs and they stand in front of the garden and they just talk about old memories about how they used to garden in the past. So it's just very exciting for us to know that they're enjoying the fresh grown herbs, vegetables, plants, and so forth.
Wonderful. Well, I know we had talked earlier this morning about memory care and kind of the impact that you've seen. So I'd love for you to kind of dive into that a little bit.
Memory care, that's my heart right there. We've done a lot of activities. We have a program here called Dining Delights at Commonwealth Senior Living, and it's a dining services specialty program, one of our signature programs. And we try to incorporate the Babylon Gardens in our Dining Delights, whether it's making homemade butter using all the fresh herbs, whether it's making pesto, or even bringing the memory care residents together at a table to harvest the lettuce and to pick the lettuce and to know that that's what they're going to be dining on that evening for dinner, they'll be having the fresh picked lettuce and herbs from the garden. It's just very heartwarming.
Well, and so with some of those residents, what are some of the things that they share, when they're getting to experience this?
They talk a lot about their past, how they used to garden. It was a generation back when they were younger that they harvested their own food, and a lot of our residents are farmers, and it just brings back memories, and they tell stories about how they'd be in the gardens with their parents, picking that day's meal. It's just to have them engaged and to see them smile and reflect is really special to us.
That is definitely very special. And I know Chef Sue or the director of dining here was popping in earlier this morning, and she was saying it's such a stunning focal point, and literally, first thing that your potential residents see when they walk in the door.
Exactly. It's as you walk in the front doors, you see the garden, and everybody migrates towards it. It's a conversation piece. It's a part of our daily preparation and production in our kitchens to be able to walk out and trim the herbs that you're going to be using in today's sauce. Having the residents see you come out trimming the vegetables or the herbs for today's production, and they ask the questions, and they're like, oh, are we going to be having that tonight? We recently planted flowers in this particular garden for the first time, and I hear the stories how there's a couple particular residents who every day came down to the garden to view the garden, to wait for the flowers to finally bloom. And when they finally bloomed, they went to the kitchen door and they're banging on the door. They're like, they bloomed, they bloomed. So, I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting for us, and it's great to get them involved.
That's fantastic. Well, I know, one thing that I always wondered, did you ever survey the residents to figure out, what they want to grow within the farms, or?
We have, and
Okay.
we've had a range. We have a lot of green thumb residents who love their flowers, especially in the springtime. It's beautiful in Virginia in the spring and the fall, who really wanted to see the flowers. So, and they're edible flowers. So we have, they're currently growing behind me. That's also great because we can use them in our memory care. We like to have fresh flowers on the table, and we need to make sure that we're putting safe flowers, edible flowers, so they can be utilized that way. They get involved. They do like the buttercrisp lettuce. That's a big one. The herbs are always great because there's just so much you can do with it. We use them a lot in the cooking demonstrations. We've made pesto. Like I said, we made the herb butter, fresh herb butter. We've done bruschetta. We've done items, cilantro lime chicken. It's just a great, there's so many different things we can do with our garden. And it's not just for a sales and marketing tool. It's also to promote the farm to table, which is one of our signature programs at Commonwealth Senior Living. So I think they enjoy everything.
That's fantastic. Well, I know sustainability obviously is important to Commonwealth too. So how does this does it check some boxes on that side?
Definitely leaving our footprint. Like Bob had said in the video, we're harvesting minutes before service, an hour before service. So we're cutting back on that transportation point of purchasing. We don't have to, we know it's fresh. We don't have to worry about traveling on a truck. We don't have to worry about the pesticides that are used. Everything is done right here. It's all done basically through your phone and with partnership with Babylon. And we're just doing our best to leave our footprint.
Love it. Well, so you talked a little bit about, time and footprint and that type of thing, and using the app. So, I know we have some people out there who they're not green thumbs at all. So how easy would you say is using the app and all of that?
It is so simple. You are prompted through every stage of the process. There are videos and tutorials. However, there are the videos and the tutorials, but Babylon does such a great job at communicating, training. You have people at your access with just a simple text or a phone call. They call you right back. It's a very simple process to be able to walk out and harvest your own lettuce and your own herbs, and you're basically just pressing a few buttons on your phone. The harvesting process, I would say maybe an hour to a week tops for one garden is probably the amount of labor that's used. And if you get your residents involved, you know, it's even better.
Yeah, and it seems like with some of your residents, I know every because we partnered at 24 communities, right?
Correct.
Yes, and so every community I assume is so different, but it seems like there is kind of an overlap with a lot of residents just wanting their hands into it.
They want to get their hands into it. They want to help with the cooking. We do a family night once a month where we invite the family members in for a meal, and we serve the herb butter that we made. We say our memory care residents made this herb butter, and that's served with our fresh bread program. The salads, this is the lettuce we harvested today from our garden. This sauce has this herb harvested from our garden, and they raise their hands. I help make that. I help make that.
Well, and that's going to give them such a great sense of purpose and enjoyment. Just
It does, and it brings them back to their, whether it's the childhood living on the farm, whether it's being a housewife cooking at home or hosting parties. There's so many facets in life that evolve around gardening.
Yeah.
And it's a great it's a great piece for us having these Babylon gardens in our communities.
well, and I see we've done some beautiful branding, and we'll show you guys some pictures in just a little bit of their microfarm with a stunning Commonwealth Senior Living branding on here with your iconic pineapple, and obviously the banner stand that really speaks to your signature dining program. Has that kind of helped elevate on the marketing side?
Absolutely. Although I will say the garden speaks for itself. It markets itself for the most part. You walk in the building and it's a focal point. When we give community experiences and the potential residents, family members, they walk by the garden, everybody stops. Everybody stops, everybody walks over, definitely engages in conversation regarding the garden and what's this? Where does this come from? And we explain the history behind Babylon. We've had a great partnership for years with them, and it sells itself. So yes, there is a great promotional material available to you. However, it speaks for itself.
Yeah. Well, and you all have had some amazing accolades. One, you do have a phenomenal culinary program here, but with our partnership, we've done some great accolades together.
We have. I can't name them all because my memory is shot. But we won a VALA, Virginia Assisted Living Association Best of the Best Award, and Argentum Best of the Best, which is a national award, and many others. And even with our residents, I think it wins an award. They truly enjoy it, from participating to dining to just all in all, having the garden, watching things grow as they enjoy their meals.
Well, I love that. Well, thank you. Well, so I know you shared a number of ways the farm has really contributed to your different communities. Do you have any kind of final words that you'd like to share with colleagues about kind of your experiences personally? Or
well, I live in Virginia. My friends all wait till I plant my first batch of lettuce at home, because every time I plant, no matter what time of year, we always get a freeze after that, and it usually destroys my lettuce. So they always wait for me to plant, because they know once I plant and a week or two has gone by, that they can plant. So for me, having this garden here, I love it. It's when you're having a crazy day and you got that hour or so to get into the garden, it's zen. it helps bring you back to earth. It brings you back down to earth. And even just interacting with the residents while you're doing things, it brings you to a place. This is why we do what we do here at Commonwealth Senior Living. It just reiterates that point.
thank you. Well, I know.
Yep, we have some questions that we would like to get to from the chat, if you don't mind answering. Imran has now asked, how does Babylon, is Babylon used as a springboard to teach you how to build an infrastructure for greenhouses, or does Babylon provide the greens to you? How does sort of the system work? And I know that Sharon's going to get to some of that, but maybe you can.
For the most part, like I said, it's done through an app on your phone. As you plant your seed packs, they regenerate at the corporate level, and they'll send you seed packs as you plant. They track for you, so the seeds are automatically sent, and it starts at the bottom of the farm. You put your seed packs in. When they're ready to be transplanted to the next level, it prompts you on your phone, time to transplant. You click a button, you transplant it to the next zone. where when it's ready to be harvested, it sends you a little notification on your phone to say ready to harvest. It's pretty much as simple as that.
Yeah, our goal really is to kind of take that guesswork out of growing. So we've designed these units so they're food safe applications, obviously working with amazing, communities like Commonwealth Senior Living. Food safety is one of our top priorities, but our goal for your teams is really taking the guesswork out of growing. So with our app, we're remotely monitoring, and basically that takes the guesswork out of growing for your team. We remotely monitor our fleet of farms across the world. So, we turn them on, they get pampered with perfect combination of nutrients, pH, water. We turn the lights on. So our goal is minimal time for your teams, but like Chef Lara said, on the engagement side in culinary, it's really unparalleled.
Correct.
Jared has a question. And I think Sharon, you'd be best to answer this one. What size community is this best for? Or maybe better asked, he said, what's the largest population this will work for? Is there a minimum population size?
Sure. So great question. So we work in all range of community sizes. So we have ones that are lovely with about 40 to 50 residents. We partnered with expansive CCRCs where Waterman Village, I believe they have 500 plus residents at their community. So it's a pretty large one, but it's so interesting because we partnered with obviously a lot of memory care within your organization. So there's different facets. So one thing that's pretty neat is I know Bob had a lot of goals around how much output he wanted to get out of the farm. So if there's certain metrics that you all have around, hey, we want to be fully self-sufficient with the salads we're providing, we can kind of figure out how many units we would need to accomplish those. But a lot of our communities have 1 or 2 units and they just are phenomenal focal points. But if you do have certain metrics around, benchmarks you're trying to accomplish for production, we're delighted to work with you guys on that side too.
And we have here at Commonwealth Senior Living, this particular building has 100 plus residents. We have some buildings that have 40 residents, some buildings that have 80 residents. You are able to do more than one farm. I will say the herbs, the cost of herbs these days are outrageous, fresh herbs. You get them in from the produce company and within a day or two, you're losing quality. Here, they will grow forever. It's wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Do you want to go into some of these? I think some of these questions, these next questions, going to be answered in your slides.
Perfect. That sounds great.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you all again for taking the time. And Chef Lara, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So we've truly enjoyed our partnership with Commonwealth Senior Living, and it's been such an exciting journey. So like I mentioned, what we've developed are these stunning indoor hydroponic farms, and our mission was how do we really engage your residents and bring people closer to their food? So we've deployed over 220 of these units across the world. We've also partnered with unique organizations like MSC Cruise Lines, the US Olympic Team. And at the end of the day, we're all about kind of telling your stories and inspiring that engagement. And as you can see with our units, they're a fantastic focal point. So food safety is one of our top priorities, but we want to take the guesswork out of growing for you and your teams. So basically we control the environment. So with our Babylon IQ software, that's what takes the guesswork out of growing. And then our guided growing app is really allows it minimal time for you and your teams to actually manage the equipment. Some neat little nuggets to highlight is with our partnership, the way it works is each community has a dedicated account manager, and that's to do a couple things. Obviously, ensure seamless installation of the equipment, but more importantly, figuring out how these are incorporating this. So whether you want it for engagement, culinary innovation, your account manager is going to work with your teams to figure out, do we want to get residents' hands in the farm, or is this solely for culinary? So at the end of the day, we take the guesswork out of the equation. There's literally no green thumb required. And we want to make this as easy for you all as possible. And then as your wheels are turning about potential locations for installation, keep in mind, there's a couple things that our team needs for install. So since we are dosing water, nutrients, pH, we do need a 1/4 inch flexible cold water line, 120 volts, so basically a wall outlet dedicated to the unit. And food safety wise, every 2 to 3 months, the app will tell you, hey, it's time for a deep clean. All that entails is basically that bottom reservoir right there pulls out. There's a quick connect for 50 feet of the farm. So keep in mind, if there's locations that you're thinking of at your communities, let me know, and we're delighted to do a virtual site visit with you.
Can you ship to Canada? We just got a quick
Yes,
question.
absolutely. We've already partnered with Canada. If anybody wants to go to Bora Bora, we're in. Keep in mind the minimum is 3 units, but Canada, absolutely. Now, with the units themselves, you know, Chef Lara for Commonwealth, their farms are beautiful. They have the Commonwealth branding on there. So we can work with your teams to kind of get the design and look that you're going for. The bottom left corner right there is Ford. That's one of our recent clients. So love the branding. We can get really creative on that side of things. Now, at the end of the day, like Chef Lara said, it's more than fresh produce. So a lot of our clients love this for resident engagement. Some of our clients actually donate the food back to food pantries to help with food insecurity. And then when it comes to customizing your menu, keep in mind, we can work with each one of your teams, because I would assume with each one of your communities, Lara, there's variances. Not everybody is doing the exact same.
Correct.
Yes.
There's a great menu of items that you can plant, from herbs to different lettuce blends to flowers. But there's some more items in the works, and you can request what you want to plant, whether it's the microgreens, whether it's the flowers, whether it's the herbs, combination of all of the above. It's very customizable. if that's
Lovely.
word.
It is indeed. But thank you. Yeah, keep in mind, you know, every single month you get your Babylon box of whatever variety of seed pre-seeded pods you want to grow. Essentially, your menu lives within your app. But like Chef Lara said, you can mix it up as much as you want to. There's no seasonality within your farm. So keep in mind, you know, these are really phenomenal vehicles for that unparalleled dining experience. And I know it's obviously helped with a lot of new residents getting them.
Like I said, it is a conversation piece for all. It's also a great tool with your teams to get your teams involved. They enjoy going out and working in the garden. It's everyone takes pride. It's a showpiece or a centerpiece for our dining.
Thank you. But yeah, as Lara mentioned, you know, it really checks all of these boxes around farm to table dining experiences. You know, that's the
That's one of
pillar
our
for you. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Our signature programs at Commonwealth Senior Living. Yes.
Yeah. And you guys have a phenomenal culinary program.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, so fresh ingredients, engagement, all about sustainability. But these are really phenomenal vehicles to check all of those boxes. And even for special events, I know I mean, the caliber of events that you do here for your residents, especially with the family dinners every month.
It's exciting,
Yeah.
and we keep trying to come up with new and exciting ways to wow them, and the Babylon Garden definitely assists with that.
That's fantastic. All right. And then I know one thing that has been a really big win for our clients nationwide is we do provide environmental report cards. And so this is a really great vehicle to kind of showcase your dedication to sustainability. Yeah, so here we are. So this is actually Commonwealth Senior Living's report card right here. So this shows the positive impact that you guys have made on the environment, from water saving, food waste, nitrogen avoided from waterways. So I know that's been something Bob was really excited about.
Yes, most definitely.
Perfect. Yeah, so keep in mind, if sustainability is a hot button for your communities, companies, we provide these biannually, and it's really a great vehicle to showcase to your residents, hey, here's the positive impact that we're making together on the environment. Now, one thing that I know is really important to you all is the nutritional value. I know you have very high standards in regards to what you're serving to your residents here. But one thing that's pretty cool is we've actually had our produce lab tested compared to traditional supply chain, and showing that, you know, nutritional value is higher from what you're pulling out of your farm, but no herbicides, no pesticides. I mean, are those hot buttons for?
Most definitely, especially in this day and age, we're at a combination I like to call the older seniors and the younger seniors. As the younger seniors are moving into our communities, they're looking for more sustainable. They're looking for the farm to table. They want to know where their food is coming from, and this is you can't get much fresher.
Well, perfect. Well, any other questions that we can kind of dive into this morning?
I think the only other question that I saw here was what was the Babylon's favorite crop amongst your residents?
Oh, it's a combination. As far as the lettuce, there's so many great blends of lettuce. The butter crunch, the butter crisp crunch mix, that's always a great choice from the residents. They love the fresh herbs. They love the fact that we have independent residents in this particular building, and they'll come down and knock on the kitchen door and say, "Can I get some basil? Can I get some oregano?" And we're like, "Of course." I think you have to try them out for yourselves, I think, to see what your residents like. There's so many different varieties to choose from. Each community is just a little bit different. And that's where it's great to get a little questionnaire, just once again, getting them involved and engaged.
Well, Chef Lara, thank you so much for taking the time this morning.
My pleasure. Always great to see the Babylon team.